My partner and I had only been together for a month and a half when I found out I was pregnant. I have an extremely regular cycle, and I knew something was off immediately. I took a test in a Walmart bathroom because I was so anxious to find out. I was in shock. I was simply not ready. I knew immediately that I wanted to terminate it. I live in Louisiana, and there are only 2 clinics in the state that are always overcrowded. I called immediately, and the earliest they could get me in for the first appointment was in 3 weeks. And I knew that in Louisiana, the clinic is required to provide pro-life counseling that definitely qualifies as trying to talk me out of it. I spent this time incredibly sick, tired, and terrified. I spent a month knowing I was pregnant, fetus developing inside of me, while planning to terminate. And this was honestly one of the hardest parts of all of this. I ended up feeling trapped in a body that didn't feel like my own anymore. The day for my first appointment arrives, and I'm already at 7 weeks. Upon arriving at the time of the appointment, we're unable to get in. No sign, no one to explain, nothing. Finally, we're told that the local clinic was closed for a staff meeting, and that I would have to start from scratch and wait almost another month. No one informed us in any way. It was terrifying. I completely broke down and started panicking, realizing that after all this waiting, there was a legitimate chance that I might not actually get a choice. I spent the next week desperately trying to figure out something. Finally, I found a clinic all the way in Florida that had an appointment for a surgical procedure available in less than 2 weeks. The day comes, and we drive from Louisiana to Florida, seeing endless, aggressively shaming pro-life billboards. The waiting area is so packed that there's almost nowhere to sit, and we wait for nearly 5 dreadful hours before I'm finally called. The clinic was almost closed, and the doctor was rushed and abrasive. Painkillers of any kind were not available, so I tried to be brave, but the doctor was so rough at the start that I screamed from the pain and ended up panicking. Thank God I was able to switch to the medical and take the pills. The next day at the pharmacy, I was told I had to give the reason the doctor prescribed them, forcing me to explain it in public. It felt like public shaming all over again. Eventually, I took the pills, and it was extremely painful, and I was in so much pain and so ill that I nearly passed out on the bathroom floor. Even though I know I did the best thing I could have done for everyone, I'll live with that image for the rest of my life. It's been a year, and I'm honestly still sad. I would be much better if, when I found out at 4 weeks, I could have gone through with the procedure immediately, safely, and with dignity. I think about it fairly often, especially when it's discussed in the news 24/7 as of late. It got to the point where I felt like I couldn't watch the news anymore without my mood being brought down when it was peaking in the news cycle. No one wants to get pregnant to just end it, not to mention the anger and resentment brought on by how difficult and shameful it was to get it done in the Deep South. I was unbelievably fortunate in that I knew as early as I possibly could, had time, money, transportation, and a supportive partner who could take time off from work. And I'm sad to know that for many women, this is not the case.